Vice President JD Vance told Military Academy graduates Friday that President Donald Trump is working to ensure that U.S. armed forces are only sent into harm's way with clear goals rather than the undefined missions and open-ended conflicts of the past. According to Associated Press, Vance, in a commencement address at the U.S. Naval Academy, said Trump's approach doesn't mean that we ignore threats but means that we approach them with discipline, and if we send you to war, we do it with a very specific set of goals in mind. Vance, in his first remarks as vice president to one of the military service academies, also spoke briefly about his own military service as he addressed the 1,049 graduates in Annapolis class of 2025, most of them newly commissioned ensigns and second lieutenants. Vance served in the Marines, and when he was named Trump's running mate last year, he became the first veteran to serve on a major party presidential ticket since John McCain in 2008. Former President George W. Bush, who left office in 2009, was the last sitting president who had served in the military. The president and vice president traditionally speak at one of the military service academies every year. Trump is scheduled to speak at West Point's commencement Saturday.
Vice President of the United States of America, accompanied by Vice Admiral Davis, United States Navy, Superintendent, United States
Now, it's customary in speeches like this for people like me to offer words of congratulations and maybe a little bit of advice. Of course, I just did exactly that. But you're not just graduates of some random university about to embark on careers in the private sector, and I'm not just giving another political speech. I'm your vice president, and the minute you walk off this stage with your diploma and your commission, you will be officers in the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps, and that is an incredible thing. Now, I want to be clear. The Trump administration has reversed course. No more undefined missions. No more open-ended conflicts. We're returning to a strategy grounded in realism and protecting our core national interests. Now, this doesn't mean that we ignore threats, but it means that we approach them with discipline, and that when we send you to war, we do it with a very specific set of goals in mind. And consider how this played out in just the last major conflict we engaged in with the Houthis over in the Middle East. We went in with a clear diplomatic goal, not to enmesh our service members in a prolonged conflict with a non-state actor, but to secure American freedom of navigation by forcing the Houthis to stop attacking American ships. And that's exactly what we did. With the Trump administration, our adversaries now know when the United States sets a red line, it will be enforced. And when we engage, we do so with purpose, with superior force, with superior weapons, and with the best people anywhere in the world. The Trump administration recognizes that our most valuable resources, it's you. It's young people who are brave enough to put on the uniform and risk your life for this country. And we promise, I promise, to cultivate that resource, to protect it, and to use it only when the national interest demands. And what makes your new life so unique is that you must take multiple perspectives. You will be junior officers, of course, answerable to commanders, captains, admirals, generals, and people like me. You will have to follow orders, even when you don't want to. You've made it now through one of the most demanding institutions in the entire world. You have earned your commissions, and you've stepped forward to serve at a moment when your country needs you now more than ever. But you're stepping into gigantic shoes, and it's worth taking stock of that as you prepare to receive your commission.
The Vice President will now present diplomas to those individuals graduating with distinction. Owen M. O'Malley stands first in the class. Andrzej J. Korlecki. Tenley W. Radak. Sean D. O'Boyle.
W. Burgess.
Charles E. Rulington.
Jessica A. Cervantes.
E. Cortez.
James E. Lyon.
On behalf of the class of 2025, I would like to present you with this gift.
The U.S. Senate is ready to approve a bill on tough sanctions against the aggressor country, Russia, if Vladimir Putin does not show a desire for peace within a few days. This is stated in a statement by the authors of the bill, Senators Richard Blumenthal and Lindsey Graham. It is known that the bill on sanctions against Russia for its invasion of Ukraine received 81 co-sponsors in the U.S. Senate. Sanctions will be imposed if Russia refuses to negotiate a lasting peace with Ukraine in good faith or resorts to other efforts, including military intervention that undermine Ukraine's sovereignty and after peace is concluded. The bill's authors add that Secretary of State Marco Rubio told the Senate Foreign Relations Subcommittee that Russia has agreed to provide its terms for a ceasefire in the next few days. Their contents will say a lot about whether Russia is serious about peace. We suspect it will be more of the same. If it is more like this, Russia can expect decisive action from the U.S. Senate, the statement said. The bill is said to isolate Russia, placing it on a trading island by imposing harsh tariffs on other countries that support these atrocities. One of the top priorities is to hold China accountable for supporting Putin's war machine by buying cheap Russian oil from a shadow fleet. While we yearn for peace, it is increasingly clear to us and the overwhelming majority of the Senate that Putin is playing games. The United States Senate is prepared to act if these games continue, the senators concluded. Let us recall that on May the 20th, the European Union introduced new sanctions against the aggressor country Russia. They are aimed against almost 200 ships of the Shadow Fleet. In addition to the European Union, Great Britain also expanded its sanctions against Russia. The new sanctions were introduced in response to the massive drone attack on Ukraine that occurred on the night of May the 18th. This is stated in a statement by the British government. It is noted that the new restrictions will affect 100 facilities in the military, energy and financial sectors of Russia, as well as those waging an information war against Ukraine. French Prime Minister Emmanuel Macron and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer have said new sanctions could be imposed on Russia if Moscow abandons a 30-day ceasefire with Ukraine.